my boss, Jonathan Hahn, a self-made millionaire. He's quite a guy. This is Mrs. H. She's gorgeous. What a terrific lady. By the way, my name is Max. I take care of them, which ain't easy, because their hobby is murder.
Morning's more like it.
Would you like to get in out of the night air?
Wouldn't mind.
Well, how much and where?
20. And my place is right near here.
Let's go.
Gotta be kidding.
Sorry, hon. You do your job and I'll do mine.
Great. The end to a perfect evening. What's this?
This is as far as we go.
Oh, don't tell me you're looking for a freebie.
That's the farthest thing from my mind.
To the right a little bit.
No, Max, back to the left.
No, over. Back to the right.
Stay out of it, will you, Freeway? To the left, Max.
Darling, would you just let me handle it?
Darling, it doesn't look any good that way.
The back over to the right. There, that's perfect.
It is not perfect. It's just because you're looking at it from here.
Well, then this is the only place I'll stand when I look at it. Max, would you get that? You know, I'm not sure I even like the painting.
The painting isn't a perfect spot. It's just a little bit off.
Well, I think...
Hot residence. Just a moment, please. It's for you, Mrs. H, a lady. Her name is Sandy Maslin.
Who's Sandy Maslin? One of those girls on the UNICEF committee?
Not exactly, no. She was Miss X in that article I did on prostitution, remember? Hello, Sandy?
Hi, Jennifer. Look, I hate to bother you, but I need to talk to you.
Right now?
Could you come over to my place?
Wait a second. She wants to see us right away.
Well, what do you think?
Well, she was very helpful to me.
And you'd like to return the favor?
I know she wouldn't call if it wasn't important.
I'm with you.
Sandy, you still live at the same apartment? We'll be over in half an hour. Bye-bye.
A girl was murdered last night. I think.
Yes, we heard that on the news.
Well, the rest of us are pretty scared it's going to happen again.
Would you like me to?
Oh,
Did you notify the police?
uh-huh. That's why I called you.
I don't think I understand.
Well, they're not exactly going to break their backs trying to solve this case. Thank you. I thought maybe you could look into it.
Well, Sandy, I don't know what we can do.
We're not detectives.
Yeah, but I hear sometimes you get involved with investigations. If you could just go to the police and talk to them, they might listen to you with some respect.
Well, I'm not sure it would help. But we'll give it a try.
Thank you.
Now look, Mr. Hart, the last thing I need is some hooker trying to tell me how to run my department.
Nobody's trying to do that, Lieutenant.
Or hitting on some big shot to come down here and put the pressure on me.
That's the farthest thing from my mind.
Well, not so far, maybe. Look, I've heard about you and how you try to help the police from time to time. Well, we'll manage this investigation without you.
If there is an investigation.
Now look, Mr. Hart, I've got 3 feet of unsolved crimes on my desk. I'll get to this one. But remember, the woman was a hooker, not a nun. And in case you don't know, prostitution's a very dangerous way of making a living.
Is there someone I can talk to about this girl?
Yeah, Ed Tiger. He works vice. He knows those girls pretty well.
Well, thanks for your courtesy.
Oh, no courtesy. Better you should bother him, huh?
Detective Taggart?
Yeah.
I'm Jonathan Hart. Lieutenant Frederick said I could come down here and ask you a couple of questions about that girl that was killed the other night in Hollywood.
Oh, believe me, I'd like to get my hands on the guy that killed her.
You mind if I sit down?
Oh, sit.
You knew her.
No, she was new on the street.
Oh, well, Lieutenant Frederick said that you know a lot of the girls. Is that right?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. I like to get to know them as people. Hey, listen, what they do may be considered illegal, but it doesn't give anybody the right to go around killing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. I couldn't agree with you more. Well, it must make it very difficult for you to arrest them the way you feel.
Yeah, sure does. You know, I'm interested in changing their way of life, getting them off the street.
Sort of like undercover social work. Huh?
Yeah, kind of. But that's not for publication. My boss hears about that, and I'll be back on a beat in a minute.
You got it. Not a word. Thanks very much.
Hey, listen, if anything develops, Jonathan Hart, right?
Right.
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Did you notice anything strange on the street?
On our street, they're all strange.
Even the vice cops.
Especially the vice cop.
Come on, get serious. Jennifer's trying to help us.
Is that?
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Jack. Hi, Jack.
Hey, a new girl in town. She's terrific.
Hang up, Jack. Man, do you ever have a wrong number?
Maybe it's just a temporary busy signal. What do you say, baby? You ready for a little action with old Jackson this afternoon, huh?
Look, Jack, you don't even play in her league.
The only league he plays in is the Little League.
Sorry, Charlie. You're going bald tonight. Hello, Taggart.
Sandy?
Oh, come on in. So, what brings you by? Taggart, you okay?
Yeah, fine.
What do you want?
Talk about the murder last night.
Oh, are you investigating it?
I'm involved.
Well, do you have any idea who did it?
Yes. And so do you.
What do you mean? I don't know anything about it.
You do now.
Oh, dear God, no.
What are you doing here?
We called Sandy's apartment. One of your men answered.
I take it you're Mrs. Hart?
Lieutenant, Jonathan's told me all about you.
Did he also tell you I don't like meddlers coming out here to bother me?
Lieutenant, Sandy Maslin asked us to help.
I'm afraid we didn't do a very good job.
Then let me handle it, okay?
Then I can assume that you're going to pursue this case with a little more vigor?
Yes, Mr. Hart. That's a very fair assumption.
Could we have a look around her apartment?
Why? Did you leave something up there?
Lieutenant, we're trying to help.
Yeah, that's I was afraid of. Now, look, you know I don't have to let you go up there, right?
Would you like to have us try to get in on our own?
Okay, Mr. Hart. You made your point. But look, would you both just do me one small favor? Now, please,
Don't touch anything.
It's awfully neat for the scene of a murder.
That's what I was thinking. As though the killer being here was no surprise.
You getting a cold?
No.
You're sniffling.
Something I can't quite place.
Neat as a pin.
Teddy bear?
Lots of people have stuffed toys.
Jennifer,
Hmm?
take a look at this.
What?
Notice anything unusual?
No.
There's not a red one.
Well, Mr. Hart, you find anything?
Nothing hits my untrained eye.
Well, you're not alone. I've got 11 pair of trained eyes out there who came up with zip.
Did anyone find a red wig?
Red wig. No. No red wig.
Just out of curiosity, what was the color of the first victim's hair?
Red. Oh, now, wait a minute. You're not coming up with a series of red-headed killings.
No, Lieutenant. I was just wondering, that's all.
Well, why don't you both wonder about something else, huh? And stay out of this, okay?
Do you get the feeling that we're not wanted around here?
We've been thrown out of better parties.
Crystal, Annie, this is my husband, Jonathan.
What do you do?
Hello, Mr. Hart. It's nice to meet you.
I can see you've already heard.
We heard.
If it's any consolation, the police are taking this much more seriously.
I don't think it'll make a whole lot of difference.
Well, that's why we came down here, because maybe there's something that you can tell us.
We got nothing to say.
Sandy wanted us to help.
Look where it got her. Look, the fewer people we talk to, the less chance there is of trouble.
What are you going to do, go back out on the street?
No. We'll just move our territory to the Blackwell Hotel and leave it at that.
Take care of yourselves.
How do you spell dilemma?
1 L, 2 M's.
What can I do for you?
Oh, Max, we got a cold bottle of champagne down there.
There's a case the White House sent you that's been chilling since the last election.
1 bottle, 2 glasses.
Coming up.
Thanks.
Oh, you've got that look again.
What look?
That look that's a cross between Kojak and the Hardy Boys.
It's just that it's frustrating. That's with an F. No leads, 2 women murdered. And the only people that might have any information won't talk to us or the police.
What we need is someone they'll respond to. Someone who's flashy but not vulgar.
Smart, but not obvious.
Charming, but not obnoxious.
Smooth.
Urbane.
Suave.
Witty.
Here I am, Mr. H. Is this seat spoken for?
Help yourself.
Thank you. Bartender, scotch on the rocks. How about you?
The same.
Lady after my own heart. How about you?
I'll buy my own, thanks.
Your choice, but it's tough to believe anybody passing out free booze. Here, keep the change.
Look, I was having a conversation with the lady, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. Do you mind?
Not at all. Be a nice change, to tell you the truth.
Listen, I spent $8 buying her drinks.
Here, you keep the change, too. You look like a lady in distress.
You'll never know.
What about you and I hieing ourselves forth to yon neighboring booth, forsooth?
For sure.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Look, I think you're cute, and I like your style, but I'm a working girl, if you know what I mean.
I didn't doubt it for a second.
Oh, well then, let's just cut the formalities and talk some business.
That's why I'm here.
I have a room upstairs.
That isn't exactly the kind of business I want to discuss.
What then?
A girl like you needs somebody to protect her interests.
You're a pimp!
Well, I like to think of myself as a personal manager.
Well, thanks, but, no thanks.
I've been reading about these murders.
Let me alone, mister. You just let me alone.
Lady.
What is it?
I'm sorry I upset you.
Oh, it's not that. This car won't start.
That's no problem. I can drive you home.
I don't want to continue that discussion.
Okay. I can take no for an answer. You want to lift? Come on, no strings attached.
All right. Don't do that at the table. You want some more coffee?
Yeah, thanks.
Morning, Max.
Please, not so loud, Mrs. H.
Your Bloody Mary's over here.
Oh, thank you.
Max,
No lectures this morning, please.
you know that you rolled in here at 3:30 this morning?
You guys were up.
We were worried about you.
I could take care of myself.
What were you doing out until 3 o'clock in the morning?
Talking.
Talking?
Right, talking. She's a very nice lady.
While you were talking, were you able to get any information?
Believe it or not, Mr. H, all I got was information.
So what did you find out?
She said the street was real quiet until last week when some retired pimp named Jimmy Delaney got beat up real bad.
Delaney.
Delaney.
Well, did he know either of the victims?
No, but they were both independents, but they knew about him because Crystal said that he was sort of like a den father. It shook up people down there.
Does Crystal know where we might find him?
No, but she said that he hustled pool on the side at a joint on Western Avenue called Hollywood Billiards.
That's it?
That's it.
You mean it took you until 3:30 in the morning to get that little bit of information, Max?
What do you want from me? She's a very slow talker.
Who should we try first?
The guy in the back. He isn't a hustler, he should be. Morning.
That it is.
Good job.
Yep.
You mind if we ask you a couple of questions?
What I'd like the show answer, man?
There's a man by the name of Delaney.
What about him?
We'd like to talk to him.
You don't talk to anybody.
It's kind of important.
Yeah? One of his relatives died leaving a fortune?
No, but there might be a few bucks in it for him.
You too?
Not interested.
Don't you even want to know how much?
I couldn't care less.
We could make it worth your while.
Lady, you don't understand. There's not enough money in the world for me to start telling strangers where Jimmy is.
He's not a stranger.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. We used to hustle together. I know my way around a pool table.
Sure. And I'm an astronaut.
You want proof?
Yeah.
What if I clear the table in one shot? Would that be proof enough?
No way.
I'll tell you what. If I clear the table with one shot, then will you give me Delaney's address?
And if you miss?
$50.
100.
You got it. Just showing off.
Say, where did you learn how to do that?
Didn't I ever tell you? I used to hustle with Minnesota plants.
Didn't I ever tell you I used to be the college billiards champion?
Oh, really? Well, maybe we ought to have a game sometime.
Oh, I'm game with your game.
Hello, Crystal.
Taggart, what are you doing here?
I wanted to look in and see how you're doing.
Oh, fine. Ever since I moved from that street.
Oh, yeah, one of the ladies said that you and Annie had moved up here. I thought maybe we could have some lunch.
Oh, food is lousy here.
I got my car. We could go someplace and grab a sandwich.
I'm not hungry.
Maybe talk about getting you a straight job.
Oh, no, we've been through that.
Let's go through it again.
Oh, look, do me a favor. Save the missionary act. I don't need salvation.
Don't be too sure.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, there's no reason to believe that the man who killed Colleen and Sandy is going to stay in that area forever. But think about it.
Mr. Delaney, we just want to ask you what happened.
A house caved in on me, okay?
We think the person that did this to you is responsible for the murder of 3 women. Now, we need your help. Can you figure why this happened to you?
I wish I knew. Oh, this is scary. You see, I worked this neighborhood for 20 years, and my girls were all clean. And I retired 5 years ago without an enemy to my name.
Did anything unusual happen last month?
Nothing.
You can't think of any reason of why or how?
No.
It's a nice-looking lady. Is that your wife?
Not exactly. One of my girls, first one, 21 years ago. The most special. She passed away a couple of weeks ago. One of the girls called me and told me about it. Boy, did we have some good times together.
Mr. Delaney, why do you think this happened to you?
I don't know. I came home one night from the pool hall. I'd lost $30, so it couldn't have been that. I let myself in. And all of a sudden, it was all over me. I didn't have time to turn on the light. First with his fists, then with a baseball bat. Leastways, that's the way it felt. And all the while he was doing it, he kept saying, "You did it."
Did what?
Lady, I wish I knew.
You really think the killer was after redheads?
It sure fits the same time frame. The woman in the picture died 2 weeks ago. 1 week later, Delaney was beaten up. After that, the killing started.
It's only one problem.
What's that?
Well, 3 months ago when I did that story, Sandy's hair was blonde. I don't think she ever changed the color.
Mr. Hart, what do I have to do to get you back to your business and out of my life?
We'd like to have you send one of your policewomen out on the street.
With a red wig on.
Unless, of course, you have one who is a natural redhead.
No, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You want me to do this because of some pimp who has a picture of a woman with red hair, huh?
The man was beaten up over a month ago for no apparent reason, Lieutenant.
And the first woman to be murdered was a redhead.
Yeah, but your friend Sandy Maslin, she didn't have red hair.
I know, but maybe she used to.
Women are known for changing the color of their hair, Lieutenant.
So I've heard, Mrs. Hart.
Well, what have you got to lose, Lieutenant? If we're right, you've nailed yourself a killer. Think about that.
And if you're wrong, I've wasted the taxpayers' money.
Well, I don't know. It's a rather small investment for what could be a very large return.
Why don't you try it, Lieutenant? Just give it a try. If it doesn't work, we'll be out of your life forever. Gone. Goodbye. Out. Okay?
Well, you finally made it sound attractive.
Good. Then you'll let us know what happens?
You can count on it, Mr. Hart. Count on it.
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
Bye.
Thanks, Lieutenant. Well, how do you think we did?
We were, in fact, not a hit.
Lovely fellow, that Lieutenant Fredericks, huh?
Simply charming. Do you think he's going to follow through?
What? And spoil a perfect record?
Right. Check with Deutsch. Oh, look, I know there's a red wig somewhere in the building. Right. We'll have 2 teams out there backing you up. Okay.
What's up, Lieutenant?
Oh, look, we're going to put a plant in your area this evening. An Officer Sherman, you know her?
No, I don't believe I do.
Well, you go on down to personnel, you check out her photo. Well, look, she'll be wearing a red wig, so don't pull her in, okay?
Great. You got a line on the killer?
Nah, just a shot in the dark. Probably a waste of time.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I'll keep my fingers crossed. Sure would like to see that guy off the street.
Good morning, Lieutenant.
Oh, good morning.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
No, thanks. I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by and bring you up to date on what happened last night.
Well, what did happen last night?
Oh, nothing. Big fat zero. Street couldn't have been quieter.
You sound almost glad.
Well, I'm glad nobody got killed. Would have been nice if things worked out the way you thought they would, and this could have been all over and done with by now. On the other hand, I'm hoping you're a man of your word.
Oh, you mean that I'll stay out of your hair?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
A promise is a promise, Lieutenant.
Glad to hear it. Oh, Mr. Hart, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?
Go right ahead.
Why would a man with your kind of money want to run around playing detective? You got to be out of your mind.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Bye, Mr. Hart.
Guess what?
What?
It didn't work.
Now what?
I don't know. They'll keep on investigating. Maybe they'll get lucky.
And if he doesn't?
You're not going to give up now, are you?
Well, I did promise the man.
You said you'd leave him alone. You did not say you'd stop looking around.
Oh, but darling, that's a very thin line.
I don't know. I think it would stand up in a court of law.
You think so?
It's a cinch.
I think you're right. Let's go.
Max?
Darling, the body was about here, wasn't it?
Yes. You don't smell anything anymore, do you?
No. Let's take a look in here. No red wig.
Darling, we've been through the apartment once already.
I know. Terrific. And he's our only witness.
And he isn't talking.
Yeah, but if he could. Bingo.
What?
A strand of red hair. This is where she kept it.
Yeah, but where is it now?
The killer must have taken it with him. He sees her working in a red wig. He follows her. He finds her address. He kills her. In the struggle, the wig falls off. He realizes his mistake, but it's too late, so he takes the red wig with him. Look at that.
Oh, boy. Well, I better find Crystal and tell her to keep her redhead off the street until the police get that guy.
Yeah, I suggest you keep that pretty red head of yours out of sight, too. Okay?
Okay, come on.
Now, look, you were out of it. Stay out.
But I can prove it. They were all redheads. All 3 of them.
Because of some teddy bear.
Because that's where she kept it. If you send one of your technicians over there, I'm sure he'll verify.
Yeah, look, I'll do that the first chance I get.
What's the matter? Don't you have one available?
Now, look, Mr. Hart, I told you we have other crimes in this precinct.
Lieutenant, don't you think Taggart would know whether she worked wearing a red wig?
Maybe.
Let me ask him.
Be my guest, huh?
Hi, is Crystal around?
She got lucky. Got herself a midday job. Said she'd be gone most of the afternoon.
Is she coming back at all?
Probably. Around 7.
I'd like to leave her a note if I could.
Help yourself.
Mobile Unit 724 to dispatch. This is Taggart at Santa Monica and Wilcox. I'm going on a lunch break.
It all ties in, Lieutenant. Love and hate. He couldn't stand the fact that his mother was a prostitute, but he couldn't do anything about it until she died. So now, he's killing her over and over.
Are you sure that's the same picture you saw in Delaney's room?
Yeah, I'm positive. Where's Taggart?
See, Mobile Unit 724. Yeah, get me Taggart. He's out in Mobile Unit 724. Right. He took his lunch break half hour ago.
Yeah, where?
Where'd he go? Santa Monica and Wilcox.
Santa Monica and Wilcox?
Yeah, thanks.
That's where Jennifer is right now.
think he thought I was one of the girls.
You okay?
I guess I'm gonna have to change my walk.
Don't you dare. Hey, thanks, Max.
Oh, Max, that was a great dinner.
Yeah, you really pulled out all the stops on that.
Well, I figure after the last couple of days that tonight I'd better fix up something special.
Here's to you, Max.
I'll drink to that. Long may you wave. Cheers, Max.
Thanks. Well, if that's all there is, I'll be going. Good night.
You going out?
You're not going to the Blackwell Hotel.
Oh, no. Tonight, I'm going to curl up with a good book.
Snow White?
No. The Harvard Theory of Emotionally Disturbed Racehorses and When to Bet on Them. Good night.
Ah.
Darling,
What?
may I ask you a question?
Sure.
How's your dance card?
Filled.
Filled.
Mm-hmm. And all by the same fella.
Oh, what a lucky fella.
What a lucky girl.